had a vision. People burning. Everything destroyed. It was Athena. She was doing it. I was doing it.
We won't let that happen, will we?
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel Paws On Animation and our Paws On Netflix segment.
Today we're covering the newest live-action Knights of the Zodiac movie that's arrived on Netflix to stream for free.
Sorta new. And this is yet another adaptation of the 80s anime Saint Seiya Knights of the Zodiac with Mackenyu starring as Seyia, as it loosely follows the first storyline of the original anime. And very kind of loosely, yeah.
And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell updates on future podcasts and One of Pause videos.
Absolutely. And this originally came out in the theaters in April in Japan, and in the US a couple of weeks later in May. There was a $60 million budget, and it only made $7 million worldwide, so it's considered a box office bomb. So what do you do when you bomb the theater? Sell it to the rights to Netflix or Prime.
Yep,
And
they
so
say,
Netflix
here, you
got
take it.
And Netflix got it.
Yep.
So this definitely, as you said, loosely follows the actual anime.
Yeah.
And first we'll tell you about the voice cast and then tell you what was good about it and what didn't quite work so well.
Okay.
So we have Mackenyu as Seiya, as we mentioned, Famke Janssen as the mom, I'm just gonna say that. Vanda Garad as a mom of Athena.
That didn't exist.
Right. Madison Eisman is Athena or Sienna. Diego Tonico is Nero, the Phoenix Knight. Mark Dacascos as Mylock, glad to see him. Nick Stahl is Cassio. Sean Bean, the ultimate Sean Bean, is Almond Kaido. Caitlin Hudson is Marin, the Eagle Knight, who she kept wearing the mask like in the anime, but she didn't voice the character. Katie Moy was the voice.
Right, it was just you stand-in.
Yes. And David Turok is Jockey the Beast.
Okay.
So that's the cast. And before anyone says it, all of these are fantastic actors. I don't know anything about the one playing Athena or the one playing Diego, but I'm guessing they each have some skills and a following. Because Sean Bean, Famke Janssen, Mackenyu, Mark Dacascos, Nick Stahl, you could not have picked a cast that had better acting skills.
Right. That's true. And we had heard about this movie for a while, and we saw first announcements actually last year. Now they're going to do a movie, and originally they're going to have Sean Green in here, and they end up backing out on that and getting different people. So we really weren't sure because we only had seen The Lost Canvas, which was a reimagining of Saint Seiya. And then we watched the first 2 to 3 seasons of the original anime, so we knew at least the beginnings of the story that they were supposed to be adapting.
Plus we also watched the spinoff.
Yes. Yes, the reboot they did where it just kind of condensed all of the major events of the first season down to a couple episodes.
Plus we watched...
Yes, that's what I mentioned, Lost Canvas.
Yes, Lost Canvas. Which I really liked. Really loved that.
Right. And we just kind of went and seen what they're going to do. Either way, regardless if it was going to be good or bad, we're going to cover it on here anyway because we cover lots of live action adaptations anyway. And we watched it, and there's been a lot worse than this. This really wasn't supposed to be a hated movie. I don't see why this should be so hated. The worst the world has ever done is Cowboy Bebop. You can't sink any lower than that. Death Note was first. Cowboy Bebop topped that. You can't sink lower than that show.
So, let's talk a little bit about the production and then get to what actually worked for this movie. It says that the actual manga author Masami Kurumada wanted to adapt it to a live-action film almost as long as he worked on the manga. In 2016, Toei Animation revealed that they were doing that in development. And then later they gave the film official green light in May 2017 with the director Baginski directing it. And it was originally supposed to be a co-production with Sony Pictures and a Chinese company, a really good film company, who would later drop out. And the original screenplay was adapted by Josh Campbell and Matt Stragan, who with later additions by Kiel Murray. So the main cast was announced September 2021. So these are all the people they originally had decided on.
Right.
And as we saw at the end of the movie, the filming took place in Hungary and Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
And we were surprised.
Right.
Because you could tell it looked really different. But
Right.
there's no way I personally knew what the landscape was.
Right.
So let's see what worked about this movie. First, the cinematography was absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Beautifully filmed.
And they wanted to have the choreography match a little bit of the anime, but first it's just fist fights and karate moves and all that. No, it's not karate, but you know what we mean. And they kept it relatively simple, just punches, kicks, some throws. They had some weaponry. Of course, they added guns in because they're westernized, so they got to put the guns in. And they at least stuck to them having professional martial artists do their own moves instead of a bunch of stunt doubles, so it felt more authentic when they were doing it.
Yes.
And they kept having the camera work angle better than Cowboy Bebop when they were throwing hits and punches and throws. They made it look like this is how they would fall apart or something in the anime rather than just doing blank throws and blank hits.
Absolutely. And speaking on that, the special effects were also fantastic.
Yeah, they did very
Really
well
done.
on that.
Really well done. You didn't look at it and go, oh, that looks fake, or why did they do that? That doesn't look right. Everything looked good with the filming and the special effects. The acting, as I mentioned, they had a star cast.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, the actors could not have been better. I didn't see anyone who I looked at and went, oh, why are you doing this? Why did they choose you? You can't act. No, that wasn't the case. All of these are professional actors that have are renowned for their craft, especially Sean Bean. I was like, whoa, as soon as I saw Sean Bean, I was really excited.
Right.
So they did really well. Personally for me, Mackenyu did a good job. I personally think he did a good job. I don't think he was bad at all. I think the script was, but we haven't gotten to that yet. We were happy that it stuck with a good amount of the manga.
Good
Not
enough.
as much as we would want it to, but it stuck with them being reborn as these heroes.
Yeah.
Say it that way. And it stuck with him trying to find his sister.
Right.
And it stuck with him being how he was. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, in here, Seyia is stupid. Well, if you've actually watched the anime, he was kind of dumb.
Because all he knew was fighting, so
Yeah.
I guess his head was kind of hurt for most of his life.
And he had a one-track mind. Find my sister, find my sister, find my sister. It was the same way. It wasn't because they made the character not as smart here. They kept to the manga on that. And they kept to the anime that we watched. The original, he was not too bright. It was obvious he wasn't too bright.
Right.
And what made him stand out was his heart, his determination, his drive. After he was stupid with Marin,
Right.
and he realized that in order to get what he wanted, he was going to have to do what they wanted. And that's how it ended up. And then he ended up making friends with the other saints, we just call them that, in the anime.
Right.
So this stuck to that. And it was a good, a little over 2 hours.
Close to 2 hours, yeah, like a few minutes from being 2 hours long. Slightly less if you discount the credits.
So you got a nice length feature film, and there's a teaser for a sequel.
Yeah.
Which answers the question, where were the saints besides Seyia in this movie? It's hinted that they're coming. Now, personally, I hope they make the second movie and make it a Netflix exclusive and bring it out, because I would like to see how they go about getting each one and who plays each one.
Right.
I really want to see it, so Netflix, I hope you do it and make it exclusive to you. Maybe you'll be able to do it for half the budget, 30 million, 20 million.
Yeah,
a
you
lot
can lower
less.
it, so.
And hopefully it's gotten a lot of views.
Right.
Now that we've gone through that, now we'll tell you what didn't work for this movie.
Right. Well, I guess first off would be...
One saint.
That's it. Everyone else was cut out of the film. I guess they didn't want to pay for them yet. They just, I guess Mackenyu and most of the people they got in there were bigger stars, so the money went to them. They said, we'll just put them in later. And for the anime, they kind of went the trope route of having the nights be a secret thing and the world doesn't know and it's got to keep hidden. Well, in the anime we saw, it was well known around the world, especially Japan. They know they had a TV tournament. They had people who come and compete, and whoever was the strongest would be chosen to be specific nights and go to the island. This was on TV. It was well known.
Like Tiger and Bunny.
Yeah, everyone knew about the nights, and it was commonplace to see this. It was an event. And here, no one knows. It's underground. Here we go. No one can know, and there's collateral damage
Like
coming.
Fight Club.
Right. And he wasn't a fight club at the beginning of the movie. It's like, why is there Fight Club in this movie?
Yeah.
And it kind of messes with that. And I think that's so they didn't have to go get a bunch of extras, pay for a big ring. They kind of kept it close-knit to some cast, and then that was it. So that kind of took away some of the excitement for seeing some of the fights because they kept one same and made it all secret, so there was no tournament.
Right. Another thing that didn't work is for some reason they decided to age up, say, a sister. In the
Now the reverse,
anime,
yeah.
she was younger and he was looking for his younger sister. But in here, she's older and now she's a member of a secret society.
Yes, and
Seyia
she's a knight.
is 18.
Yeah, now he's 18.
Instead of being a younger teen.
Yeah, you're right. They reversed their ages.
And then aged him up still.
Right, and now we don't know if this is already part of the anime. She's a knight now because
she knew what he was going to become.
Right, because reasons, and then government comes and takes her, and then you don't know what happened to her after that. It's like, what? It's just, and of course she's better, stronger, faster, everything. It's like, yeah, we know you're kind of late on doing this trope.
And the one who plays Sienna and Athena, she was fine. Her acting was fantastic, but the way they wrote her didn't work.
Yeah.
In the anime, she was likable. This character became likable later. In the beginning, she wasn't.
No.
Honestly, she wasn't. But as the movie went on, you did like her. But in the anime, she was likable from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
All the women in the anime were strong females. I don't know where that garbage came from. Where there are no strong women in the same anime. There were. All of them were. There was Athena, there was Marin, and there was another one that doesn't come to mind. But there were.
Yeah.
So in here, they kind of made Athena sassy
And
trope sass.
And girl, yeah, and it was like, come on.
And they made her tropey, which we didn't care for.
And you're like, oh, she's the rich girl, daddy's girl. I'm like, why? We've seen that 20 million times. Why you get to here and you go with that route?
Personally, I think the anime version of her would have worked much better, and people would have been happier seeing that. But this is the route they took, so if there is a second movie, she's going to be the same, but at least by the end of the movie, she was likable. And here they decide to give her a mom.
Yeah, and she's the villain of the movie. They don't go into Alone, like the Lost Canvas.
Where's Alone?
Right. Or in Hades. None of that's in there. They don't really deal with the mythological part of the lore. They kind of cut that out altogether. The closest you get is Nero, and the villain is her mother, which now exists now, and her father, who actually is her dad now. For some reason, they decided to give her more parental figure instead of just the businessman, which actually was an okay idea, like Full Metal Alchemist tried to do in one version, but you kind of had a hard time grasping that and believing it, not because they couldn't act, but because, one, you know the anime, and two, the way that they've given her lines in the script, you didn't care for her in the beginning. She seemed like she was spoiled and ungrateful for a part of the movie, and the dad was completely changed to be a more loving father, and of course the mom is the villain, so she wanted to destroy everything just to get her, and it was hard to buy this type of version of this character and this storyline, and throwing out the villain altogether for a brand new villain who's just the evil business person type is like, why'd you tone it down to that?
They totally changed Phoenix's backstory, or Nero's backstory,
yeah,
whatever you want to call
now
it.
he works for the villain,
and that doesn't work either. It's like, well, he's not going to have any character growth.
No, he
And
can't.
If he does,
and he
it won't
stays.
seem genuine.
He stays a villain the whole movie. He's a villain from the start. Cruel, homicidal villain by the end, and he's gonna be back later. They already said he's gonna come back. So yeah, he's just gonna be a monster the whole time.
So these are the problems we had with the movie itself. Quickly, I want to tell you it's out on DVD now. And
Yeah.
it was released in June digitally and July digitally of this year.
Yes.
There were a couple of critics who actually said some things that are similar to what we said. Quickly, we won't talk about Rotten Tomatoes because we care less what they think. Metacritic said it had generally unfavorable reviews. Now, Carlos Aguilar of the Los Angeles Times wrote that Baginski's, and he's the director, Knights of the Zodiac amounts to a well-intentioned disappointment. Doesn't mean it has zero merit as a work of entertainment, but it will neither satisfy the fandom's demands for a true-to-the-bone homage to their childhood favorite, nor will it transmit to outsiders why this tale of blind courage in the face of insurmountable odds has inspired such decades-long devotion. I think that sums it up perfectly. This movie isn't bad. It isn't terrible. It isn't something that you shouldn't watch. If you're a Seyia fan, watch it and see what you like about it and what could have been improved. We told you the cinematography is great, the special effects are fantastic, the acting is spot on. The script isn't very good, and too much has been deviated from the anime, and we're sure probably the same for the manga.
Right.
That's the problem with this. But it's not the production, it's not the actors, it's not the cinematography, and it's not the special effects. It's the script they were given. So if there's a second movie, and I really hope there is, because I really would like to see where it goes, they need to get a new director.
Yeah, definitely.
And they need to get a different script writer.
Yeah.
If they do that, then I think the problem will be solved. They are learning, Netflix I should say, to really improve on their anime adaptations.
Yes.
This is a lot better than a lot of the things they've had. Absolutely a lot of things.
Yeah.
So don't use Josh Campbell, Matt Strucken, and Kill Murray for the next script. Sorry. Don't use them. Get someone else. And try to get it back toward the anime and the manga so that people who love this anime and manga will actually want to see it. So if you've seen Knights of the Zodiac, the Netflix movie, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or did you think like us? It wasn't bad. Could have been a lot better, but it wasn't a bad watch, and it's not a waste of your time watching it. Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't seen it, it's available on Netflix, as we mentioned, on DVD to watch. Come back, let us know what you think.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, even these videos, favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.